Well, we're here at the CCA workbench, and I'm with my master bait man.
I knew it had to come in.
So guess what? Let's go ahead and get in it.
By the way,
Yeah.
there's really no way to beat a live bait, in any fishing situation. With live bait, you don't have to fool a fish with a piece of artificial. You're feeding him something that he eats all the time. So I know a lot of guys will say, "Oh, I don't really want to catch a fish on a live bait because I'm not really angling." Well, that may be true, but sometimes when you want to catch one and you got to catch one, live bait.
Live bait.
It's the thing to use. You can't beat them. Shrimp, pilchards, sardines, herring, crabs, all these things these guys were saying. Even eels, tunas. I used a lot of tunas for bait.
Right.
So all these baits have the time and the place. Keeping these baits alive, cold water holds more oxygen than hot water. So if you can keep your water cooler, however you can do that, if you're using a bait cooler instead of a bait bucket, or if you want to get a little water bottle and freeze it.
So they have the ice packs that we freeze?
Correct. They work.
And we lay them because they float. Mm-hmm. And so the bubbler in the live well, guess what it ends up doing?
Right.
You know what I mean? It makes it nice and cool. Well, you want to turn that on?
Yeah, I will in a second. A bait cooler like this, a bait cooler with latches and everything, it'll keep the water cooler than a bucket. So this angle right here is my tried and true. I use this thing. As you can see, it's been beat to hell. I use it all the time. And I've kept a dozen pilchards alive for 2 days in this studio.
Because you keep the water cool.
Exactly.
It slows them down.
Correct.
Perfect.
And they work really great. Bubblers, all these have bubblers on them. If you've ever used a bubbler, you've probably used one of these.
The marine metal
products. Fishing products.
Yes.
They sell tons of bubblers. The one down there in that cooler. If you have a bucket, you can hang this on a bucket. But they even make them like this one down here. I'll turn it on. You can put this in a cooler. It'll go on the bottom of a cooler, and you can just turn that sucker on, and it turns into a fountain. And you can adjust it, really hard.
Oh, I like that now. I like being able to adjust that.
Yeah, you can make it really push hard or push just a little bit. And if you put that in the bottom of a cooler, you're golden. And you can put it in any size cooler just about, as long as, and if you want to, you can cut that pipe, I guess.
Now remember this one thing, guys, I gotta add this, Dave, is when you go from in the water out into the hot air, and then you're circulating on the top, you're gonna have a tendency to warm up your water. Because the hot air it's different than when you have a stone on the bottom that's bubbling from the bottom. So keep that in mind, guys. Don't mess with the salinity of your live well by putting ice in there and thinking it's going to work. As soon as the ice melts, you got big trouble.
Right. And this is they make all these now. This is a bubbler as well, an Engel bubbler, but these are rechargeable now. You used to have to put D batteries in these things.
Right.
But hey, I just turned it on. You can see it bubbling.
Oh
there?
yeah, I see it.
But it makes zero noise. The older ones, you can hear that.
Yeah.
And it's in your boat. You can hear it all day.
You say this makes zero noise?
This one makes zero noise.
Yeah, we're gonna name that one Nicole.
They're very, very good to have. To catch these baits, sabiki rigs, obviously, if we can catch the baits with a hook and line, they're going to last a lot longer than if we throw a cast net on them.
Right.
When you throw a cast net on a bunch of bait, knocks off their scales, their slime. It's pretty hard on them. Their little noses get caught in the net sometimes, so they get beat up pretty good. And they're great for pilchards and other hardy sardines and whatnot. But if you can catch your baits with a hook and line, they're going to last a lot longer. When I fish for tunas, I like to use Clark spoons.
Right.
Single hook Clark spoons.
Do you mash the barb down?
Sometimes I will. If I start ruining a lot of baits, I will. I'll use a little plug, and I'll take the treble hooks off and put single hooks on. The single hooks don't mess with their gills and make them bleed. Right. Once a bait's bleeding, go ahead and throw him in the ice, and maybe we can cut him up for other baits. But if he's not bleeding, he can go into the bait tube, or put him on and let him put him back out. Don't drop the baits on the deck.
That's why we have D-hookers.
Correct. If we use the D-hooker, and here's a tip: when you're using the sabiki rig,
right?
A lot of guys will put a 1 ounce weight, a 2 ounce weight. No, put a 5, 6, or 8 ounce. Make that sabiki stretch way out. A lot of times you'll pull in your sabiki rig and you'll see where there's 2 hooks together. Those had baits on them,
right?
And they got together and de-hooked themselves.
Correct.
If you have a really heavy 5 or 6 ounce weight on the bottom and you're dropping to the bottom, you will keep them all spread out and you will fill that whole sabiki rig up before you bring it up.
Great advice.
Instead of just putting 1 or 2 at a time in the boat.
Yeah, because if you're catching goggle eyes or you're catching blue runners, they're strong enough to swim after they've on the quill to start swimming towards the boat, and then you get this tangled mess.
Correct, and that big heavy weight, that 6 ounce weight or more. Sometimes, Ray uses heavy ones. And Ray makes these, Ray Rocher makes these sabikis, and these are the best there are, I think.
The R&Rs.
They're really good. Eagle Claw makes them too. They're really that nice, but I really like the R&Rs as well. So
great job.
Well, I'm sorry.
Very well prepared this
nothing
evening.
Like that feeling of a full stringer of sabiki bait.
That's right.
Oh, you're like, I did it.